Today we are talking about how to create your life the way you want it. Now, if you are done with living reactionary and just kind of going with the flow, this is the episode for you. How is it we can do some amazing and sometimes unexplainable things, like heal our own bodies by the power of our thought? Mother's intuition, the law of attraction. Can we really tap into our subconscious mind? Can we really create our own realities? It begs the question, are we novice gods? Thank you for joining me on this documentary series. I hope you are getting out of it as much as I am. This has been an amazing journey. If you've paid attention, anyway, if this is your first time, joining us, what we're doing is we're talking about how to unlock the fullness within us, how we have untapped power that often goes unused that we can actually tap into right now. Now, it's a documentary series. I've been talking to a lot of people, I've been interviewing people, and I've been sharing the things that I have found and things that I've learned. And I hope it helps you. I'm going to share with you something extremely personal that happened just a few days ago that has changed. It's been one of those pivots in my life, and it came directly because of what I'm going to share with you today. It's really talking about how to create your life the way you want it. So let's jump into that. Okay, so 4 years ago this last week, I was in Las Vegas, and it was my first time at a personal development conference. Never been to anything like that before, and I was so nervous. I was so scared, with all the people that I was around. But I remember talking to a life coach for the first time. Had never spoken to a life coach before, had no idea what they were about. And she sat down with me and she helped me design my life. Design my ideal, kind of starting from designing my ideal day. And it was transformative for me. I had no idea how much I was living by default, that I was just going with the flow and I wasn't really creating anything amazing out of my life. Now, backing up just a little bit, my background is I'm a filmmaker. I'm a commercial filmmaker, documentary filmmaker, and let me tell you, there are no accidental movies. You don't accidentally make a movie. You deliberately, intentionally do that. It takes a lot of thought. It takes a lot of creativity. It takes a lot of teamwork to create a movie and, a beautiful film. And what are you doing with your life? How often are you super intentional about your life? Yes, I understand. You may have a goal out there. You may have this dream that you want to do. But if you are not really consciously, deliberately, intentionally crafting your life, it's never going to happen. Or if it does, you're going to achieve something and realize it's not really what you wanted. That's been my experience, and that's been the experience of so many other men and people that I've talked to who realized that they were living the American dream, checking all the boxes, and then they get there and they realize they're unfulfilled. It wasn't what they wanted, and it hasn't resonated with them. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you, there are no accidental movies. If you want to live by design rather than default, there are a few things that you need to do, and I will share 3 main steps. Actually, it's 4. I'm going to give you 4 as a bonus. So the first thing is you need to identify your 3 core values. Now this is huge. This is huge. If you don't want to... Stephen Covey, I think it's Stephen Covey that said this, said you don't want to end up at the end of your life realizing you've put the ladder up against the wrong wall. You're climbing that corporate ladder, whatever ladder of success that you are climbing, and you get up to the top and you realize you've had it leaning against the wrong wall. That's what happens when you're not super clear on what your core values are. You may have these goals and ideas that you want to have in your life, but if you're not really conscious about what your true values are, what really motivates you, what lights you up, what you just absolutely have to do before you die, if you're not clear on that, it's going to make a hard time to really accomplish what is most meaningful to you. So the first pro tip here is to identify your 3 core values. Now, if you want help with this, I do have a purpose pad, a planner that helps you go through your morning routine. Just look in the show notes. Happy to share that with you. But that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is to design your life with intention. Now, I shared with you that I sat down with a life coach. And the life coach was wonderful. She had me go through what does an ideal day look like for you? I'd never really thought of that before. You know, she asked, what time do I wake up? What kind of food do I eat? Where do I live? You know, what's my family life like? What is our home like? How does it smell? She just went through the whole process. You know, what's my schedule? How, you know, when do I do certain things? What am I doing for work? What am I doing to make a contribution in life? And had me go through just a whole series of questions to figure out what it was that I truly would love to do. You know, if I could write my own ticket, if I could do whatever I wanted to do, what would that be? Now think about that for you. You know, translate that to where you're at right now. What is an ideal day for you? What does it look like? What time do you wake up? Where do you live? What are you doing? Are you making a contribution? Does your life matter? Do you have value? Is there any significance in your life, or are you just going day by day? I bet you've got some significance. I bet if you think about it, there are things that you would truly like to accomplish and to contribute in this world. So anyway, that's pro tip number 2, is to design your ideal day. Look at what you truly want to accomplish. Now, the third thing is, once you design this out, once you figure it out, and it may take a while for you to put this all together and to really get conscious about what it is that motivates you and drives you. Once you get that all written out on who you are and what you're about, and again, these are dreams, these are things that you've not yet accomplished. What you want to do is you want to live as if they have. And so you want to start programming that into your subconscious mind. A wonderful way to do that is to create your life vision, write it out in story form, and then record it. And I would suggest that you record it in your own voice, in present tense, with music behind. Now there are lots of opportunities for you to get some inspirational music that you can put behind that, but you want it to be something that when you read this, when you listen to this, you're going to feel emotions of power and inspiration, and it's going to motivate you to get up and to do this. What you want to do is you want to train and program your subconscious mind to actually believe that you are going to accomplish this. So those are the 3 main tips, and then pro tip number 4, this is the bonus tip. This is the one that actually really matters, and that is to ask God. Now, I know I'm trying not to make this show religious. You know, it's very spiritual. It's very spiritual minded as the base foundation. But I got to share with you something that happened just last week. When I was interviewing Tiffany Fletcher, afterwards we had an extra conversation, and I filmed some of that, and then we had an even more in-depth conversation. And I did not record that until I got home with my journal and all the things that I wrote down. Well, the interesting thing is that morning in my individual prayers, and again, I use this purpose pad that helps me get really intentional in my mornings. And one of the activities it has me do is it has me ask, what is the single most important question I need God to answer today? So that was my question that I put into prayer that morning. And the question that I asked was, 4 years ago, I designed my life. I created exactly what I want it to be. But God, do you have something different in mind? And so I wrote that down. I went to prayer. I went to the scriptures seeking the answer. The answer came later that day when I was talking to Tiffany Fletcher. It was amazing. It was definitely life-changing. It was one of those pivot points in my life. And as we were talking, she was excited about my video skills and the things that I can do and how I can help other people. She's a speaker, and she knows many other speakers that work to make other people's lives better. And she said, what if you create movie trailers for these speakers where they can, in 3 minutes, tell their story? What is your life? What is your message in 3 minutes? And as she talked about this, just the ideas started flowing about all the different things that I could do. And it was a slight pivot to where I had designed my life. The interesting thing is I went back and reread through all the things that I had designed for myself. This fits in perfectly. It just gives me a little bit more specificity, if I'm saying that right, specificity, to what I will be doing day by day and who I will be serving and how I will be doing that. Isn't that amazing? So as you are going and looking at designing your life, I hope you take time to pray, take time to listen, take time to be quiet. And when you ask really specific questions like that, and then go searching for that answer in prayer, in scripture study, in talking with other people, God will answer you. And it may be a pivot to where you were going. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I want you to think about this main question. What do you want your life to say? At the end of your life, what do you want it to be about? If I were to do a 3-minute film about you, what would your story be? So think about that. I want you to design your life. I want you to be conscious about it, to be creative. You are a creator, and you have the opportunity to create amazing things. I hope that helps you out. I hope it inspires you on how to design your life rather than just living by default. What are your thoughts? You've had time to think. Now it's time for you to share. In the comments section below, share your thoughts, ideas, and questions, especially any insights that inspired you to take action. Of course, the best place to take action is at scottwilhite.com, because if you join me for a free web class, I will reward you with a purpose planner so you can start each day with confidence, clarity, and conviction. What if you are a God in the making? That would mean there's purpose to your life, meaning to your challenges. You have a great work to do. May you have the courage, faith, and power to become who you were truly meant to be. See you next time.